On November 22nd, 2023, the world was introduced to Disney's Wish. And look, I'm just going to admit it. I was completely wrong about this movie. For the past few months, I've been filleting Disney's Wish like a desperate actress trying to get a favor from a Hollywood executive. I thought that this movie could be the comeback that Disney Animation needed. But it looks like Disney just had to screw me over one more time this year. Because Wish turned out to be an absolute disaster. This is Spider-Verse 2 levels of bad. Heck, you know what? All saying, Disney's Wish is worse than Nimona. And you know that Disney's gone woke when they managed to out-woke the wokest movie of the year that was put on the wokest streaming platform on the face of the goddamn planet. I would say that I don't know how Disney could screw up this badly, but if you've been watching my show, you know that Disney has been failing on every level. Their TV shows are derivative dipshit Democrat dog shit. Their movies keep bombing like a B-52, and their parks are emptier than a house party when the cops show up. So, of course, when they fucked up with this movie, not only did they sink their stock price deeper into shitter, but they made me look more foolish than an average Democrat. What the fuck are these on? Whew. Let me calm down real quick. If you don't know already, I'm the PNG tuber, true American patriot, and certified cartoon connoisseur, and today I'm going to be breaking down why Disney's Wish is an absolute cinematic disaster. And as the kids say, I have the receipts to prove it. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the animation. And calling this movie animated is honestly an insult to every other animated film. Because the bullshit that they put on the screen in Wish isn't animation, it's just a fucking mess. The trailers for Wish did look kind of sussy-wussy, but it wasn't too bad. So when I went to see this movie in theaters, surrounded by tons of empty seats that I used my dad's credit card to buy tickets for, I was shocked by how crap this animation was. This is some shit that you see at the bottom of the bargain bin at Walmart. Next to movies like Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, and Frozen Land, a movie that doesn't even include a fucking Frozen mockbuster. So yeah, all that's to say is that Wish is, hands down, the worst looking Disney animated movie. The studio that's known for their good animation. How do you fail on that level? I mean, Wish is borderline unwatchable. And as sad as it sounds, the animation is only a small part of that. And on that note, let's talk about the quote-unquote story. Now, I already recapped the story of this movie in another video that came out 7 goddamn months ago. That's right, the plot of this movie is so generic and predictable that I was able to accurately predict it months before it even released. And I was literally just guessing based on what we saw in the trailers. It's fucking embarrassing that this movie had 4 goddamn writers, and the best they could do was shit out this sodomizingly bad excuse of a story. Like, what the fuck even happened? The racially ambiguous girl disagrees with the king, who, when you think about it, is actually in the right? Who the fuck am I supposed to be rooting for here? You have an annoying Democrat wench versus a true Rosa patriot. And I don't know about you, but I'm rooting against the dipshit Democrat every single time. The conflict in this movie is so stupid and poorly thought out that if this were a middle school writing project, the teacher would probably tell them to go back and rewrite it. Which makes complete sense, because this movie feels like it was written by a sleep-deprived 12-year-old. I mean, let's face it, this movie is more incoherent than Biden after forgetting to take his medication. This movie makes less sense than a Democrat trying to justify their crazy communist beliefs. Like, when you look at another dodgy Disney cartoon like Strange World, I can at least say that that film tried to have an interesting concept. I mean, sure, that concept was wrapped up in layers and layers of Democrat propaganda and climate change fear-mongering, but at least there was an idea. But what's the idea for Wish? I don't even fucking know. It's just corporate masturbation stretched out to 90 minutes with dumbass references to other, much better movies sprinkled in between. I'd probably have more fun sitting on thumbtacks and listening to different political opinions than I would watching this dog shit ever again. Oh, and I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about the characters. Though it kind of makes sense, because these are some of the worst, most unlikable, generic characters in Disney history. I mean, first off, let's talk about Asha, our racially ambiguous hero character. Now look, I was willing to give her a chance when we saw the first trailers, but now that I've seen the movie, it's clear that she's nothing more than a diversity hire that's only here because Disney needed to fill their woke quota for the year. Even though they already have more than enough woke and political characters. I mean, they tried pulling this exact same shit in Strange World, making the cast all inclusive and shit, and look how well it turned out for that movie. It's the biggest fucking bomb in Disney history. And it looks like Disney's Wish might end up failing even worse. Like I predicted in a previous video, which just goes to show how paint by numbers everything surrounding this dog shit movie is. And as for the other characters, I don't really even have shit to say about them. The King is probably the only good character, but even then it's pretty clear that he's a closeted homosexual based on the way he acts. His wife is an ignorant woman who keeps trying to tell her man what to do, and eventually becomes a hero at the end because, of course, she's a woman. And there are some other dog shit characters like Asha's friends who are all different colors and shapes and sizes, which I'm sure will make the woke Democrats of America absolutely cream themselves. Although I'm not sure if Disney made Asha's friends diverse because the Democrats were holding them at gunpoint, or because all these characters are so vapid and pointless that making them diverse was the only way to differentiate them. I mean, they're based on the 7 fucking dwarves, but I'll be fucking damned if the movie gave any indication of that. I mean, look, when it comes down to it, this movie's just fucking embarrassing. It's woke, it's weird, it looks like dog shit mixed with dog puke, and the music makes me want to bang my head against the concrete wall. I'd rather sniff formaldehyde fumes than watch another second of this shit. But what's worst of all is that I just can't believe that I ended up being so wrong about this movie. This was supposed to be what Disney Animation needed to succeed, but instead, Wish just ended up being the final nail in their coffin. Fuck, this movie was tracking so badly that the dumbass Disney executives came out of the woodworks and announced that Frozen 4 was in the works. Like, bitch, what the fuck happened to 3? Did they grow legs and walk out the studio after witnessing the wacky and woke bullshit that they're concocting? But in the end, when you look past the wokeness, behind the bullshit messages of inclusion and diversity and hard work, I'm just left with my thumb on my ass, wondering how Disney Animation fell off so badly. This is the studio that gave us animated classics in the 90s, like Pocahontas and Tarzan, and now they're giving us cinematic shit on a plane, and telling us that we're racist and homophobic and xenophobic and transphobic and Mexican-phobic if we refuse to watch it. Well, bitch, I'm fucking done. I don't care what you call me. I'm gonna throw that fucking plane over like a toddler that's off his Adderall, and I'm gonna smear shit in Disney Animation's face. Because in what world is it okay to subject me to a movie as shitty as Wish? I'd expect this kind of shit from Sony Animation, but Disney? You already know that something is rotten in the House of Mouse. Maybe it's the smell of Mickey's rotting corpse after he got stuck in that mousetrap, or maybe it's the smell of woke weirdness infiltrating the company like a bad case of syphilis. Either way, with all that said, Disney's Wish is a cinematic disaster. There's really no other way to put it. And I mean, sure, I'm angry that this movie is bad, but I'm really just disappointed. Disney fucking embarrassed me by putting out this dog shit, and now I'm left looking more foolish than a Democrat voter, trying to explain what I don't like Emperor Trump. Anyway, I'm a PNG tuber, desperately trying to get refunds for all of the tickets I bought for this movie before my dad finds out why his credit card keeps declining, and signing off. Bye.